Joining me now is someone running for New Hampshire's open Senate seat. Scott Brown is former Republican senator from Massachusetts and also former U.S. ambassador to New Zealand and Samoa during President Trump's first term. Thank you so much for being here, Senator/Ambassador. It's nice to see you again. You are running against somebody who President Trump endorsed in the Republican primaries, John Sununu, from one of New Hampshire's most prominent political families. My question is, even if you beat John Sununu in the primary, this is likely to be a really tough year for Republicans. What are you hearing from voters that make you believe you can win?
Well, every year is a tough year for Republicans, especially someone like me. I've run quite a few times. I've only lost twice. And Dana, you were there in 2010. I had no support from the NRSC or anyone else. And you were there walking around. I remember down the Cape when you were expecting, and we had thousands of people. And I'll tell you what, the energy feels just like that. The amount of support we're getting from the grassroots and others, it really matters here in New Hampshire. And if you recall, it's funny, I reflect back. I remember Marco Rubio, when I won, I went down and helped him run in Florida. And the same people from DC said, no, you got to let Governor Chris do it. And he's like, no way. He didn't have that support initially. And he ended up, look at him now. He's a great guy. He's running basically almost everything in DC. And so it can happen. I believe it's going to happen again. And if I thought John could win this thing, I would get out. But that's not the case. We see it every day, not only with the amount of support we're getting, the grassroots, the military, people that voted for me when I stopped the Democrat supermajority, when Kennedy died, people that voted for me when I barely lost to Jeanne Shaheen. So, and it's been fun. And I really enjoy getting out there, as we've talked about a few times.
I want to move on to the issues in this race, but you remember this far better than I. When you won, and when you won, it was a remarkable win in 2010. You were running with the wind at Republicans' back. I mean, the referendum was on the current president, as it usually is. That was President Obama, and the issue was health care. Now the tables are turned.
Well, a little different. Don't forget, Massachusetts hadn't elected a Republican for almost 50 years. And Martha Coakley, a two-time winner of the Attorney General, she was already picking out the drapes. So yes, while Obamacare was an issue, it wasn't the only issue. The fact that there was no representation down there as a Republican, and it's very similar here. We have 4 people who are Democrats, and they don't represent the interests of the people of New Hampshire. So yes, listen, there's always challenges, but do you not do it? Do you just say, oh, geez, it's going to be hard? Listen, everything's hard. And the people in New Hampshire are having a hard time right now on a whole host of things. And respectfully, if I didn't think I could add with my expertise and qualifications, the ability to be a problem solver and make things better, I wouldn't be running.
Well, let's talk about one of the things that you're running on, and the issue that is dominating every conversation, and that is the affordability crisis. The war in Iran is definitely impacting gas prices, causing them to go higher. Mortgage rates are higher. These are all big issues in the state where you're running, in New Hampshire. Housing costs are rising more than voters' incomes. What is one concrete policy that you say that you'll push in Washington if you're elected?
Well, first of all, I agree with your earlier guest, the fact that the messaging with the administration's been terrible right from the get-go. The president's great and doing an amazing job solving world conflicts, but gas was down, inflation was down, egg prices, a lot of other prices were down, but they weren't messaging it properly. So that's the first thing. And respectfully, gas prices are about the same, maybe even a little lower than when Joe Biden was in charge, and there was no conflict in Iran. So what I've been telling people is I agree with them wholeheartedly. The biggest challenge we have in New Hampshire is energy prices, and the fact that the president has made it better for people and shipping companies to come into our area without that delay and that taxation and others is fantastic. But we have a real problem here. That's why we're looking at Seabrook putting another nuclear power plant where the other one is. It's permitted for that. Obviously, housing, I've been working on that stuff for decades, understand the issue, want to be part of the solution. I thought the bill that was recently passed to prohibit corporations buying swaths of homes is a great first step, and I look forward to being part of that solution.
You said that the president needs to be focused more on affordability and on his messaging. Can you talk a little bit more about that? What do you want him to do more of? And is it really just the messaging, or is it also the underlying policies, which, I mean, he argued and his administration argued were getting better, that the economy was getting better, that was stymied by the war in Iran.
Yeah, listen, it was getting better. I mean, that's a fact. We all know it was getting better. And yes, but bottom line is you and I mean, I've been in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Israel, Dubai, Jordan, Kuwait, Kazakhstan, worked with ambassadors as a senator, worked with them as an ambassador, understand the region. And at what point do you say enough, Iran? You know, stop exporting terrorism around the region and the world.
So you support what the U.S. is doing, what the president is doing in Iran?
Yes. Yes, I supported them getting rid of the nuclear facilities. I support what he's doing by getting and neutralizing that big bully so that amazing region can flourish. And I support what they're doing right now to force them to come to the table. He's given them an olive branch in consideration of us stopping, you know, basically annihilating your military. You need to open up the strait. And once again, you see the hemming and hawing. They're not doing and sticking to the word. So I believe our allies, our European allies, Japan, Singapore, South Korea need to step up and do their jobs too, because this affects them more than it affects us.
One final question. If you were placing a bet, which outcome looks more certain right now? You winning the Republican primary or a Celtics title?
Well, I tell you, I have to reflect back, but I think the Patriots, Red Sox, and the Celtics won titles pretty close to when I got elected. But listen, I love the Celtics. I love the other day watching all the subs play and then beat the other team.
You're not answering the question, Senator.
Yeah, listen, Dana, you know me. I was down 41 points and won by 7. Nothing's easy. I'm running against, as you said, apparently a political dynasty. Well, people don't like dynasties. They don't like monarchies, and I'm working my tail off. And you can go to scottbrown.com and help and learn more. And this race isn't over. I didn't realize the election was tomorrow. It's 5 months away. Finally, it's a 70-degree day here, and people are finally starting to pay attention. So it's going to be fun, and it's going to be a battle.
I'm guessing the Patriots dynasty is one that you're probably okay with. Senator, thank you so much.
Season ticket holder for decades, so yes, I love that one.
Senator, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.